Hi, I'm Piers Ward and welcome to Asprey Hall Golf Club. In this video we're going to show you how I'm using a coat hanger to cure one of our Facebook followers' slice. You're watching Me and My Golf TV. So last week on Facebook and Twitter we asked you to send in your videos with a chance to get them analysed by myself and Andy. So this week we've chosen Chris Wetzel. Now Chris is hitting the golf ball high and right, so he's fading the ball to the right, his contacts aren't great, so he's thinning a few and he's hitting a few heavy. And he'd prefer to hit a medium draw. So if we have a look at his golf swing, you'll notice here it's a very good move, good solid fundamentals, very powerful, but as he swings the golf club, the key problem is the club face is open. So until we get the club face square in his golf swing, he's going to have a problem. So Chris, this is what we want you to do. And we're actually going to sort of get Andy here to show you what you're doing in your golf swing, and then we're going to give you a drill to correct the face position, okay? So Andy, if you can just take your setup for me. So as we said, Chris, you've got a good solid setup, but from here, when you start to swing the club back, this is where it starts to go wrong. So Andy, if you can just swing back to waist high. So you'll notice from here the golf club is starting to go around Andy's body. This is what's happening to yourself. The club face is opening and the left wrist is starting to create more of a bended, more of a cup in it. So if you can carry on to the top of the backswing, as you continue to go back, it starts to look like this. This left wrist really sort of goes into a cup position, the club face is open, the right wrist sort of almost straightens out a little bit as well, and the club goes across the line. So if you can come back down for me, Andy. So the reason that your golf ball is going high and right is because of the club face. So what happens then, as you start to swing down, you have to correct the open club face by getting a casting motion. So Andy, if you can just sort of stand and face onto the camera, I'm just going to swap round here. So if you can swing to the top and get into that same position for me. Now because this club face is in an open position, if you were to do everything that we should do correctly from here, so we start with a lower body, so just show me a good downswing, Andy. He's driving with a lower body, he's getting the hands ahead of the club head. You'll notice when he strikes where the ball would be, the club face would be wide open, it would be going severely right. So we just can't play golf from there. So what we have to do, from the top of the golf swing here, we spoke about this casting motion, so that is the club being thrown down there. And what Andy's doing there is recovering the club face. And we see this a lot, Andy, don't we, on the range?
Yeah, it's quite a big difference on ball flight. You know, there's so many compensations, you know, in the downswing that we see just because of the club face position. And
absolutely.
It's really important to get that right before we even look anywhere near impact.
Yeah, I mean, the same with everyone's golf swing. There's other things we could look at, but what we must do, when we coach, we always go with a must do. And the must do in your case, Chris, is that we have to change your club face position. So, with that in mind, we're going to employ the services of a coat hanger. Okay, so what we're going to do with the coat hanger is we're going to lay this on Andy's left arm, but Andy's going to show you how he fits this onto his golf club and onto his wrist.
So basically what we want to do with this, Chris, if we get the hanger on the left side of the grip, and we're literally going to place your left hand on the centre of the hanger. Okay, so you'll see the hook is just above my hand, but I literally want to get it on the centre of the hanger, and you'll see plenty of space there, leaving for the hanger on the top. Okay, so as normal grip as you can, but hand in the centre of the hanger as normal with the golf club and with the face. So then we're going to keep that against the left arm. So the really important part here is that this top part of the hanger is going to stay against the left arm. So when we go through the swing in a minute, you're going to see how important this hook part is as well.
Okay, perfect. So if you can just take your setup for me again there, Andy. So as Andy said, Chris, we want to keep the coat hanger now against his left arm, against his lead side. So what's going to happen? I'm going to actually show you a good position first. So Andy's going to go back to waist high. Now notice this is where you're going to feel quite different. Your club face is going to feel quite closed. The coat hanger now is pressing, would you say, against your left forearm?
Definitely sort of feeling pressure against the left wrist there, yeah.
Okay, superb. So that is actually being pushed in. And actually, if you wanted to exaggerate the feeling of this, you could actually bend your wrist into a flat position and actually push the hanger into your forearm. So that would actually close the club face a little bit more. And at the moment, you closing the club face is not a bad thing at all. You may hit a few left, but that's okay. Right, from there, Andy, if you can continue up from there. Okay, now notice a big difference here. If we look at the left wrist, it is now flat. The coat hanger is touching his left forearm, his left wrist. His club face now, if I were to draw a line down the leading edge, it would be running parallel to his left forearm, to his lead arm. You'll notice his right wrist is a little bit more bent. The club is now not crossing the line at the top. It's almost seems a bit laid off, Andy. Is that how it feels to yourself?
Yeah, definitely less wrists involved, really. Definitely will feel a little bit more like you aren't using your wrists, Chris, so much, but definitely when the hands tend to cup and we get this movement, it tends to get a bit crossed, so it'll certainly feel in a different position where the club head is as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what we'll do is, even with a coat hanger on, you can still go wrong. So we're going to show you how it could go wrong. So Andy, if you can just take your setup. So if we were just to do your old swing now, you will see where the coat hanger is in relation to your arms and your wrists. So if you swing back to waist high, now notice the hook has now gone towards the right wrist. The club face is open again. The left wrist is starting to bend and cup out a little bit. Again, there's no pressure here, Andy. I can get my finger between that coat hanger and your wrist there. Not good. Okay, and then obviously continuing to the top, you'll notice the hook now is getting in nearer to the right forearm. The wrist is bent again, the club face is open, and then from there you've got to do that early release, that casting motion like a fisherman almost, you know, to square the club face up. So it is a bit tricky to start with to get used to the feel of this, but you can actually hit golf shots. We get our students, once they get used to this, not straight away, but actually hitting some golf shots, just doing some mini ones. And if you can just sort of sew Chris' face on, what we'd be looking for, maybe just doing almost like a chip and run. So you feel that you just sort of go back to a waist-high position, and then from there go through and making sure that you're really working hard to square the face up and actually keeping that coat hanger on the left wrist, the left forearm. Can you feel that, Andy, when you're swinging through, that you're keeping the pressure on?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest part you're going to feel it, Chris, is definitely in the backswing. You're going to remain to keep that coat hanger against that left wrist, and it certainly is going to feel very close with the face, but that's a good thing, being as you want to get that mid-draw, is what you talked about, as opposed to that high fade.
Absolutely. So to start with, when you get this, if you're getting that wrist position good, you may actually find it may just break down last minute and the club face might be a little bit close, so a little bit of scoop may still come in, and the club face will make it go a little bit to the left, which is good because we want to promote a change. We want to get you from hitting the high fade. Okay, fantastic. Right, okay, so what we need you to do is we need you to practice this now for a minimum of 4 weeks. It'll take at least 4 weeks for you to change the club face position. Once you do that, the rest of the things that are very good in your golf swing will start to complement that. So, as always, we want to know your feedback, so please send your comments back to us and let us know how this goes. And viewers out there, if you've got a golf swing that you want to send us, please do that. It will really help us to help you and to improve your golf. And we'll look forward to seeing you soon on Me and My Golf TV.